Welcome back, Fantasy Sharps podcast.
Everything you need to know for week 11. Let's dive into it. This week, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to do some sims. We're getting to you guys on Saturday opposed to Tuesday or Wednesday like normal. So figured we'll do a DFS spin, look at some sims, look at some content from Establish the Run, 1 week season. Just kind of stick to their free stuff because I don't know if we can really go behind their paywall or anything, but we'll just, dive into some DFS stuff here. So who do you like this week? Like who do you want to build around? Like who do you think is really just gonna pop? I know you said Gibbs, you're a little afraid about game script, and he's a popular guy. Anyone you think is just kind of like a flawless, can't miss play, which doesn't really exist in fantasy football, but
it's more about like what games are we looking to avoid? Like the chalky games, right? I mean, how many people are going to be trying to have Chiefs and Bills? There's going to be so many people with Chiefs and Bills. There's going to be a lot of people with Niners, Seahawks. What about the Jets-Colts game?
So that's neutral in the GPP game scores, which is good. Like I don't think a lot of people are going to be really attacking that outside of Brees. Brees is semi-chalky.
Yeah.
So I got to get rid of that.
He was the one. He's always the one player for me that comes to mind, just because. And I don't know why it's just like preseason bias on him. It's still just from part of your brain, but
a unique build they're saying this week is you could do something like a Brees Hall at running back and then naked Anthony Richardson bring back.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just optimize one team based on that.
Colts D is just poo-poo.
Yeah, Rodgers double stacks are definitely back in play. People keep going to it and it keeps missing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this Richardson Brees mini, they really like, just built around chalk, and it's kind of unique in its own. But
what do you think they're going to do with Richardson? Do you think they'll run him? Because I think if you get the rushing ability from him, then 5,300 is going to be a lock.
Right. So you can test, I guess, to see if it prefers to stack him or not stack him. I don't have any rules set up right now to force a stack. So we'll just look at Anthony Richardson built around the chalk, because just playing Anthony Richardson alone is like a decent lever.
Yeah,
I mean 6.5% isn't great, but it's also not.
You're really counting on him to have a rushing game, so there's really no reason to stack him.
So we'll take a look. So 138% is the highest sim ROI with him naked, and then we'll add my correlation rules. Where? Oh, they're just right down here. So we'll do him with at least one, and then we'll force a jet. We'll see if it likes that. We could also do naked and force a bring back. I'm just doing this dollar big field contest because we're just assuming we're playing a big field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as we expected, it doesn't like a stack partner, and it's leaning on Mo Alley Cox, which is weird. I guess it just doesn't really like the receivers' prices.
Just the cheapest potential play in that game, because you have no guess who Richardson's going to throw the ball to. 80 Mitchell, Pierce. I think Pittman's back this week. You might as well take Mo Alley Cox.
I forced a receiver this time. I think the issue is with the solver is they're overpriced for their ceiling. They're priced based on as if Joe Flacco is starting.
Yeah.
So it's just going to really hate this.
Their pricing just has never been able to get to fair market value for any of them. Like Downs has been overpriced on when Flacco's been the guy, and Pittman's been preseason priced high because of his alphaness from the prior year. He's finally down below Downs. I mean, there's just 4 guys there.
It keeps forcing Brees, so I want to look at some Devonta and Garrett bring back, so I'm going to make it a third. did like Josh Downs as a single. I doubt you would ever want to double stack Anthony Richardson. I'm sure it would hate it. It would probably give us all red.
Oh my god.
98%.
Yeah.
Okay, now so it really prefers Breece Hall bring back. I guess from a game script perspective, if Anthony Richardson's going to get there, Breece Hall is more likely to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess if the Colts get up on us early, well, that doesn't really make sense, actually. It would almost be the other way around, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you'd kind of hope that the Colts would be leading, but that would potentially mean if the Colts are in a positive game script, then you probably want the Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Rodgers double stack, right? If you love that,
Yeah, true. So if the Jets get out early and Breece Hall is doing well, then Anthony Richards can be just chucking late. Yeah, this makes sense from
which you really don't want. We want the rushing. We want him rushing. So you kind of want a neutral, positive game script for Richardson, but his ceiling in a positive game script, his ceiling's capped because of Jonathan Taylor. Potentially, I think that's the issue.
What if the Jets run defense steps up at home and he's just got to chuck it?
Mm-hmm. But that's bad because I think you trust Sauce and DJ Reed and them to potentially tighten up because they've been getting called out. So
look at this.
I don't know. Maybe we avoid this game. It seems hard to kind of.
No, we're just looking at it from a weird perspective. We'll find some good ROIs, but look at this. So when we do double stack him, it goes way down. So like that's your answer. That's how you use the Sims. You test Anthony Richardson naked, Anthony Richardson single, Anthony Richardson double. So we'll actually do a tight end. I'm sure it'll get a little better if we do double with the tight end instead of two receivers.
We'll get some Mo Alley Cox and Kyle
that'd be funny if it went two Colts tight ends, but that would just make no sense. Yeah, we won't over beat this horse, but it's actually a really one of the better examples to look at because slight improvement with the tight end, which we could just probably do in our head almost. And then one last thing I want to look at is that we haven't looked at yet is Anthony Richardson naked, and then bring back a jet, but Garrett Wilson, Devonta Adams, Breece Hall in a third. It only had one Breece Hall lineup the first time we simmed this, so it's not going to give us any Colts on any run now that we're not forcing it. And we'll see if these, I imagine we get some better ROIs here, like at least 1 over 100, just off the top of my head.
It loves Booty and.
Yeah, we're going to have to try to get away from this booty chalk and Cedric Tilley. So if I had to guess what a really high sim ROI would look like this week, it would be something like Jameis. Oh, I need to add back all the games. Jameis, I got to get rid of that Garrett Wilson, Devonta Adams force. I'm getting better at this. It's a complicated system, but the more you use it, the more it makes sense. Jameis. We were all over it that one week. Remember the one time you hopped on here with me? Like it was just like forcing K Dot down our throat. Mm-hmm. And then we had some really nice stacks around it. We did a Jameis with Ced Tilley. We were all over it that week. It was a good Sunday. All right, Jameis, Cedric. You were ignoring the Sims though, and you were just forcing Xavier Worthy down your lineup's throats. And Kincaid.
Facts. I keep doing that. Just because I've just been waiting for their fucking breakout.
Like they're due. I actually don't hate the Worthy call this week as a leverage play against Hopkins and Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And then you bring it back with James Cook as leverage off Josh Allen and
Knox.
And actually the bigger chalk is Khalil Shakir this week. I'm sure he's like 20% owned. 16%. So yeah. So all right. So Jameis just said Tilly. Bring back Kamara, who's gonna be chalk, but we could pull levers to get different. Shakir. Bring back Worthy. Negative 6.4 value. God damn it. It's just because he's so expensive for.
I know.
But his ceiling's there. I mean, he one big play and he hits a ceiling.
Yeah. He'll be low owned, so it's certainly a contrarian play.
0.5%. That's a bad ceiling projection in my opinion. Just one big bomb, and he's basically there already.
His volume's kind of hurt since Hopkins and has gotten going, but there's gonna be a week here. It's so funny to me that like the Chiefs are still winning, and it seems like why are we not doubling Kelsey and Hopkins and making Xavier Worthy beat us? So I just feel like there's gonna be a week that comes and he's gonna catch 2 bombs. Yeah. I've also had the thought of when we're building lineups, like you kind of want to like it sucks to get stuck on a script, but like if you're due at the Dolphins, although they've been a bad team to ride, so it's kind of a poor example, but like if you at some point if you ride a team enough, they're gonna hit, you know? Like you just need 1 week to smash.
I agree. It's you can kind of just what do they call it?
Like what if you were just riding the Bucks like all early, right? Those games they've played in have been pretty high scoring generally. Bucks, Falcons, that 1 week was.
No, it's a good concept. I did it in NBA with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was just people were just fading him. No one was on him, but he had one of the top 3 ceilings. So I just like kept playing him, and he would never kill you. But one night he just went for like 75, and all my lineups crushed. So I kind of like that. Like as long as it's a good bet. Like if you just keep betting on Mac Jones every week or something, then you're just probably throwing money away. But although Mac Jones naked, they're saying a naked Mac Jones is kind of attractive this week. No homo.
You can throw on the Lions. I don't hate that. Like if you think Jacksonville can stick around, then and he's not a bad guy to potentially just get like garbage points too, even if it does get away, I guess.
We could sim a little Mac Jones, and we won't force a stack partner with him. Well, we'll look at both. At first we won't stack anyone with him, but we'll bring back at least one Lion player. We won't do tight end. Actually, you'd be surprised. Brock Wright plus 175, bigger favorite to score than all the chalk tight ends for the most part. Chalk tight ends are Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers, George Kittle, and David Njoku. And he's almost got better odds than all of them. And then surprisingly, who do you think the tight end with the best odds this week are?
To score?
I'm hammering him in Battle Royale because he's not getting drafted 100%. And he's got the best odds by a mile. And I'm like shocked about it. Maybe it's just how they think this team's going to have to attack the opposing defense.
I don't know. Pitts?
+1, he was plus 135. Now he's plus 145. So it went the other way. Not Pitts. Went the other way slightly. It's something I've been tracking too, kind of looking at like the line movements. But it's just very high for a tight end. And it's not who you'd expect.
Tucker Kraft.
No. Pretend it's 2019.
Kelsey.
No. I said it's not any of the chalk guys.
2019?
It's 2019. He's all pro.
Hayden Hurst. Mark Andrews.
No.
I think that. I'm trying to think of old tight ends.
He's not that old, but he's like pretty old, and he's always hurt.
He's always hurt? It's not Kyle Pitts. He got drafted after that.
No, Kyle Pitts just always underperforms. I feel like he's not always hurt.
I don't know.
Mark Andrews.
Mark. I said Mark.
When did you say Mark?
I said with who's the last grouping?
Oh, I'd never heard Mark. I'll have to hit the replay. I'll have to hit the replay.
I said Markland. No,
Oh,
I like him. He's been hot. Likely he's hurt. You got to think they try to shut down Zay. I don't know. That game's going to be weird. Lamar generally struggles against the Steelers, but could be a reason why to attack it.
It's
People
got
are
the
gonna be
one of the
offensive.
best GPP game scores this week. Positive 1.3. I mean, that's for DFS, but just gives you like a little insight. I don't know. It's weird to me, and I hope I'm not getting duped, or I hope I'm not getting bamboozled because likely is healthy now. He's plus 300, so they are accounting for him. They're not just like giving Mark those odds as if likely he's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a little weird to me. I've used this strategy multiple weeks, and it's almost flawless for Battle Royale. You got all the chalk tight ends, then you look at the Vegas odds, and you just find like the one tight end that's just like randomly getting really good odds, and then you just jam that guy. I got Tucker Kraft before any team in fantasy football had him. He was like plus 175, and he hadn't played a game all season. So it was just like super weird. So I'm just going to keep using that strategy. I doubt the Sims will like Mark Andrews. We'll take a look because he's going to be expensive.
I wonder if they like a Ingram stack with.
Well, yeah, let's take a look. Let's just do a quick naked, and then we'll compare it. And we won't force Ingram. We'll just see if Ingram's who they give us by default, if that makes sense.
Well, I think one pass catcher does well if Mac Jones does well, whether that's BTJ or Ingram.
So here, let me take this. I agree. I think a single stack with Ingram looks nice, or BTJ. So we'll take a look at this to compare, and then we'll add him with a stack partner. I wonder if it splits it with BTJ or if it just goes all Ingram for the price save. Because if you go Mac Jones to Ingram, you can spend up on so many other guys.
BTJ is coming off an off week. I wonder what his
projected ownership's got to be under 5%. It's going to go all Ingram, right?
Yeah.
Because then we can spend up pretty nicely. I wonder why Jacoby Myers is chalk this week. Who's the starting quarterback for the Raiders this week?
I don't know. For whatever reason, it feels like people are kind of on the Raiders. Like
Brock
a lot
Bowers.
of people think Zamir White's gonna pop. Yeah, they're the fourth highest game total. I think that game script's gonna be weird. Big plays.
This looks nice. This 110% Mac Jones to Ingram. We'll force BTJ and see if how much it significantly lowers our projected ROI. Because that's such a cheap stack. So do the math, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones 4,900 plus what was Ingram's price?
Yeah, it's 11,000. Or Ingram's was 55, I think. 56 maybe max. $52
times 4. So divided by 100 or divided by 1,000. So if Mac Jones could somehow get you 19.5 points, and he throws 2 to Ingram only, then you have like so much salary to spend this week where salary is really tight. So yeah, it's probably not going to like BTJ as much for just that reason, because then you have to probably go for 50, 55. Doesn't hate it though.
No.
Is a drop off though, a little bit.
BTJ has a good ceiling.
What if we double? There's no way you could double McCorkle, right? That'd be so sick, though. I'd be just grittying like
If he went for like 303 on the Lions and we got all 3 touchdowns with these 2 guys, it'd be such cash.
107% with the double. If you win the Millie with Mac Jones, yeah, you probably get a Mac Jones
Brings back
national treasures 1 of 1 auto, like the best Mac Jones card you could possibly buy.
It's got Titans D.
Titans D.
Bills D.
Yeah. So if you guys are sticking around this long, we appreciate you. I got this Bijan rookie card here. We haven't been getting many comments. We've only been doing this for a couple weeks, so we don't expect it just yet. But if anyone comments Bijan Robinson below, the first person to comment Bijan Robinson below gets this card. If no one comments it, I keep this card. But I'm going to do this every week until someone comments Bijan.
Giveaways.
But yeah, Bijan, I don't feel great about him this week, but it's easy to be biased on your guys in your own league.
I mean, I think he's hot. Like, I don't know how you can be off of him. I think he's expensive. I don't know about it from a DFS, but season long where you got him, you're loving it. There's no better play. If it doesn't hit in season long, you're just like, you just throw your hands up. You're like, I got the fucking RB1 and he doesn't hit. Like, that sucks. But
is he RB1 now?
I think he's RB1 right now. Him.
No. Maybe either him or Henry.
Kyron's up there.
I guess I can go to ESPN real quick and just look. I would have to imagine it's Derrick Henry just because he's scored 1 million touchdowns, but
I'm not from I'm not saying from a rankings. I'm saying from probably like a going forward perspective. I think he's RB1.
Oh yeah, like if you want to rest the season rankings, I'm sure he is. Exactly. I just meant position rank 4. I thought you meant like he's the highest scoring in fantasy. Yeah, which I imagine is Derrick Henry.
He's probably RB1 of like what his on this stretch he's been on like last 4 weeks or something. I bet.
Oh yeah, over a couple week stretch, he's RB1, no doubt.
3 or 4 week whatever stretch he's on right now, he's probably RB1.
Henry number 2. I always think this is a fun game. So who's number 2 and number 3? You think Kyron's in that gap?
Kyron's in that gap.
I would say Saquon's in that gap.
Saquon's 2.
No, I wouldn't think it's Kyron. So it's definitely Saquon's going to be 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt because he already played.
Yeah.
Who's number 3 then? So it'd be obviously not CMC. It's not Aaron Jones. Could it be Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon.
He mixed a week or 2, but he's been going on. Missed too much time. This is always a fun game, though. I think.
RB3. Is it Brees?
Achan.
I feel like he missed too much time too.
Fuck. Shit, we lose. Like if this was a real game, we already lost.
Brees is too
There's
low.
No way it's Brees. Not Tony Pollard. It's not Josh Jacobs, is it? No way he's RB3.
No, he had too many. He didn't score enough touchdowns and catch enough passes in half point. I wouldn't give
Kamara, dude. It's Kamara.
Kamara. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's definitely Kamara.
Easy to overlook, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Mike Evans of RBs this year.
For real. Remember that one year Drew was all on him?
Dude, he's on him every year usually. But fucking he hasn't scored a touchdown in a while. But still his work.
That's a sick floor though.
I know. Look at his pass catching. He has like a 3-point floor just from receptions.
Maybe he's the Jamaal Charles of our era.
He's a stud.
Who would you say the biggest comp to Jamaal Charles is right now? Would you say it's Kamara or someone else?
Yeah, Kamara's probably decent.
You thought it was Cream for a bit, but he doesn't really catch passes anymore.
Yeah, Cream's a little more of a bowling ball now. Jamaal was kind of like lanky. He had like longer strides than most RBs.
Damn, he's gone from the database. It's always fun to look through here. Like,
I
see
was
who's still in
watching.
here. Like, Brady's still in here.
I saw they were playing a clip of Aaron Rodgers versus Chicago where he threw 6 touchdown passes in the first half, and Jordy Nelson had like an 80-yard touchdown pass and like a 40-yard touchdown pass. I was just like, man, the good old days. And it was just like him picking up 2 first downs. God, oh, I miss Jordy Nelson so much with Aaron Rodgers.
He's still in here somehow. He used to be a 4th-round pick, 3rd-round
He
pick.
like just retired. Like, didn't he go to training camp?
He was on the Jets last year.
Yeah. I thought he like started in training camp this year even.
He probably did. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
Random thought.
Yeah, dude, he signed some big deals and he played for a long time.
I'm just saying, like, he grinded it out. Yeah, like, even if you're like a practice squad guy, you could still probably make at least 700 to $1 million.
There's like little shifty
25
slot
mil,
guys
yeah.
last well.
I wonder if you could even add him in here. I doubt it. No. No, he's not on a team. What am I thinking? All right, so let's try to cook up a lineup here. With our brains. Just with our brains. Let's start, instead of the old way I used to do is like, who's our quarterback double stack?
Yeah.
That kind of it kind of handicaps you, and it kind of makes you force players in. The better thing to do, I've learned from Establish the Run, Drew Dinkmeyer, is just start with your leverage plays first. So let's just say a leverage play where like we think Achane is just going to get game scripted out, kind of like how you thought Gibbs was going to get game scripted out. So we go with either Mostert, who could also just rest if they end up going up huge. Like, let's just say it's 35-0 after the half. So maybe who's their rookie again? He's always on the I know Jalen, you know, right? You have him. Yeah. So let's just say you think somehow he's going to get like a huge second half run. Maybe he could break off a big play, and that's your leverage off Achane. Probably not going to project well. You'd probably have to go in here manually and boost his projection to, let's just say, we'll project him at 12 points now. Or let's just even say we think he's just going to like have a smash game. And so now he's a value. So like, I don't like toying it with it too much because it'll be crazy. Like, I haven't really figured this out. Like, these guys that I'm like learning from say they'll like boost a guy's projection, but I think they'll only do it maybe 2-3 points or something. Because I'll do this. Watch, you'll run Jalen Wright lineups now, and I'll have like 1,000% ROI. So I'm like, this just isn't right, and I can't trust I can't trust this. Like, now I'm gonna have like a 900% sim ROI, and so I'm still toying with. I think you just like leave his projection as is, but that was just an example of leverage. So yeah, so it's stupid.
Jesus.
So yeah, we're rich now because Jalen Wright's gonna go off. So I'm gonna just reset that. Get rid of that. We'll go with a more natural leverage play. A more natural leverage play is we'll just look at the wide receivers. Filter by ownership, filter by ceiling. So the highest ceiling, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Debo, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But then we'll look at the projected ownership. Where is it? Oh, you got here. Justin Jefferson's only projected 1% owned, but he's the highest ceiling. So we'll just like get him in there. So that's like leverage in itself. And then who's like another guy high ceiling, but he's a little cheaper, but not owned at all? Darnell Mooney.
Metcalf.
Or where do you see that?
Metcalf.
Okay, yeah, low owned Metcalf. So it's gonna be tough because there's really not a lot of salary to save at running back this week. So you would have to go with like an estimate.
Who did they play?
Atlanta at home. You'd have to go with like an estimate. And then to save money, you'd have to probably jam into tight end. So let's just look at values. And then prices. Hunter Henry 39. Hunter Henry, Dawson Knox, something like that. It's gonna be a big double tight end week. It's not stupid. It's short.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're trying to get different by spending up at receiver, where most people are trying to jam in Kiki Booty or fucking whatever the hell his name is,
Jacoby Myers or cheap high game script plays.
Yeah, so that's a leverage play in itself, is just spending up at receiver where everyone else is going down. So we'd have to be cheap, like either Mac Jones, or we could either even do naked Anthony Richardson, which we were talking about before. And then how much money does that leave us with? We have actually a decent amount to spend still, so we're gonna have to.
Okay, right. Let's look at our D.
Packers at Chicago. Miami at home versus Las Vegas. Maybe this could be leverage off like Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers chalk. Maybe Dolphins get like a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leaves us with $7K still to spend at running back and wide receiver each position. So that means we can get a stud at running back. Let's think matchups and game scripts here. Like, you just have to have McCaffrey. Oh, and that's a bring back for DK Metcalf too. You don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can have the McCaffrey 28% chalk, but we're different in so many other places that we're not worried about jamming in a little bit of chalk. So I think that's good. You can't get too different, or else it's just going to give us like horrible sim ROI.
Mm-hmm. What we got here? 6'4". 6'4" left for our last receiver.
Jaden Reed explosion? Nah. I mean, no one likes Jaden Reed this week because they're afraid of the matchup, but he's one big play away from his ceiling.
Mm-hmm. I think they could use him more outside the bye too.
Let's just see how this looks. This is very, very unique. But it's also got some chalk. It might be too galaxy brained. This is something I would build in the Millie, like without looking at a sim, and yeah, it's just like not great. What we have to do is go down at Metcalf, get into Jigba. I'm sure this will grade better if we do this. And then get rid of Estime and get like a half decent running back. Oh, fuck. We have no one. We don't have any money. Wait, what? Isn't the Jigba more expensive than DK?
They're like the same price. They're the same price. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I feel like DK is a decent value.
So this is what you have to do. Metcalf. Now we have to find value at receiver so we could spend up at running back, I guess. So let's try to.
We play Booty, cheap chalk.
I hate it.
And then we can spend up.
That's like the only way. Yeah, we can get a chalk running back.
Like another good chalk running back. We can throw out like an H in it, or Jameer.
Ooh, that's some correlation with the defense, but then you have to worry about him getting game scripted out. We'll take a quick look at how this sims. We'll keep playing around with it until we get something that looks good. Fucking Kayshawn Booty chalk. That's so fucking ridiculous. Okay, we're getting better. So now let's say they don't love HN this week. So let's get rid of him.
Do we get rid of Henry?
Oh, yeah, because we have Booty.
Yeah. What do we like? Can we get... I don't hate a Bowers this week.
Playing Dolphins D, so that's like our leverage off Bowers.
Mm-hmm. Do we maybe go Jonnu?
Sneaky. What's that leave us with?
7.5.
Ooh, that gets us up to Brees. And that's that little mini correlation we were talking about before with Brees and A-Rich. Holy shit, this might be the fucking skeleton key. This might be a 300% sim ROI. This might be the millie, dude. Hopefully no one
Come
watches
on.
this. We might not be able to upload this, dude.
35%. No, 300.
Hold on, wait. There's one more piece. Maybe it's just it doesn't like the Jono with the Dolphins D. But maybe we're one piece away from the absolute stone nuts. Brock Wright plus 175. Lock it in. It's not gonna like it, but
it loves it.
It's gonna
love it.
It's gonna hate it. Ugh. 6%. All right, so we're so close, though. I feel.
Do we
maybe we get rid of McCaffrey?
Do we do a Kelsey? Do we do a Kelsey Knox correlation?
Ooh, it's probably not going to be very owned. We got to get rid of. No, not Brees. This is correlated. This is correlated.
Get rid of Justin.
So yeah. So Kelsey, and then what can we get here? Maybe we can correlate this somehow. Gets a little dicey.
Do we throw like a Jameson?
They love this idiot this week.
They do like that guy.
Now we'll have like a 3,000% sim ROI, or at least 50%.
Because we got the Booty, Myers, Knox chalk in. I'm telling you, it doesn't love a Brees Richardson. I feel like we got to get off of that.
Maybe we'll just go more natural and go like
the correlation, I think. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The only worry is this game's too chalky to attack. Look how high Purdy's own and McCaffrey. Like Metcalf is the perfect angle in that game to play at 3% own.
Yeah, we're very chalky, but we can find a few ways to get different still. It's gravitating more and more to chalk the more we run these and the more we're trying to like jam in these value plays. That got worse though. So I think it's because it doesn't love Swift. Montgomery's he's minus like 228 for a touchdown, so might as well jam in the free touchdown. Bigger favorite than Henry this week. Biggest favorite out of any skill player. All right, let's start over. Wasn't the right build. So it's a lever, and we'll do one more build, and then we'll wrap it up. So we haven't looked at the Rodgers double stack yet, and I know I said it's better to start with your levers, but this is almost like a lever in itself off of Brees chalk. So Wilson, everyone was on these guys last week, Wilson and Adams, and they failed. So can we just go back to the well and then bring back? Do we need to bring back? I guess it could be JT, if anything.
Because, yeah, you're going to think, this is a better correlation in this game.
So let's think. 5,500, 7,100. These two receivers are expensive. That's like the only problem. So can he wait? What? No way. That can't be right. I had to have done the math wrong. Okay. I was like, there's no way you need these three to go for 99 points. That wouldn't make any sense. All right. So Rodgers, realistically, his ceiling is like 25 points. I guess they're saying 26.87. And then to get really good, let's just divide this in half. 27 from each of them. Oof, they did it on that showdown against the Texans, but it's really tough to imagine that gets there. You might have to go something like Adams, who's the bigger favorite to score, and he's been a volume monster, and then Conklin, something like that, because I just can't imagine. So now what's the
You could stack Brees too if you think he's going to catch passes.
For sure. I think this story might be a little more easy to tell yourself, though. Rodgers 25. Like Garrett Wilson still gets catches, but he doesn't get the touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adams gets 2 touchdowns and goes for, let's say, 28 points, like his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Conklin just needs to like get like 6 for 50.
No, he just needs a score. He needs a score. I don't think you can hope for the volume. He needs like that one big play up the middle and a tutty. Like a 25-yard catch and a touchdown catch for like 5 yards. So he ends for like 2 for 30 with a tutty. I think that's much more of what you're praying for.
Yeah. I
Right.
think it's I think that story makes sense. I think this is more compelling than the double stack with Wilson. We'll sim both, but I think I might like the Conklin. Like you can mix and match Wilson and Adams just
Mm-hmm.
to like the high ceiling receiver, and then just hopefully Conklin gets a little bit of run. But it's very concentrated, so we'll look at this. All right, so not bad, 97%. And this is just like building and chalk around it. I'm sure you could find ways to correlate to get a higher ROI. And then we'll look at Wilson. I can't imagine, just from the math we just did, I can't imagine it likes it better.
Yeah. Seems like
it's a lot of points you need from two
you need
expensive receivers.
you need them to soak up like so much of the offense. You're saying Brees is doing nothing, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, here, just doing some old school math from Intro to Finance back at Virginia Tech. 97 minus 60 divided by 60 times. So it's like a 6. It doesn't look like a huge drop, but it's like a 61% decrease. I think I did that math right, hopefully, but it's just it's significantly harder to get there, and then the rest of your lineup just suffers so much now because who's it trying to build around these guys, especially with JT being expensive too. Booty, Taysom, Hunter Henry, and then the Tennessee Titans against the Vikings. Like Davis Allen. So you got to be careful. We will look one last jet stack we'll look at Brees stacked, and then I'll make a rule where it wants to force exactly a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. We'll do 2 and exactly. And then we'll get rid of the forced Jonathan Taylor and see if it likes a different bring back.
Mm-hmm.
And what was our highest? 97% was the highest Rodgers team we got so far. So we'll see if this can somehow get us to higher. But I think the way to play it is 1 Jets receiver, Conklin, JT bring back. Yeah, so it doesn't like that either. So do this. Wilson, because we looked at Devonta and Conklin, but we didn't look at Wilson and Conklin, and that was the other mix and match I said would make sense. And then we had JT bring back. So this will be the last one we run. See if it likes Wilson over Adams. He is $100 more expensive, but I don't know if that's like enough to push the needle. Wilson's got a better ADOT, but
I feel like
Adams
he's
is
got the
getting
better ceiling, actually, but
for sure. He's got the
like a Monty. Loves Myers, Booty, McCaffrey. It's a nice flex.
It's trying to force off the chalk too, because the chalk is going to be McCaffrey, Achane, Kamara, and it's just trying to like get a little different with these three running back builds. But it's favoring McCaffrey out of all the running back chalk, is what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Does have some Kamara, a little bit of Achane, but it's pretty much not getting away from McCaffrey unless it gets Debo in there. But yeah, I think we learned some things just for some of the, like the deeper plays at quarterback, how to stack them. So what's the takeaway? You want Richardson naked. You want Mac Jones with Engram.
Mm-hmm.
BTJ is not a huge drop off though. Rodgers, it's hard to double stack the two elite wide receivers. We didn't look much at elite quarterback, but that's more going to be chalky.
The matchups are just tough up there, right? Yeah, I mean, they're going to be low owned. But KC's got a good D.
Josh Allen and Lamar both under 5%.
I feel like we're so due for a Mahomes week. But
When you say a Mahomes week, you mean 4 or 5 touchdowns, 400 yards, which he hasn't done in like 3 years.
I know. It's just you're just like waiting for it to happen. And if that happens, you think Worthy and D-Hop go off, or Kelsey, I guess, too. Yeah, it's everybody's loving D-Hop. D-Hop's such chalk.
I'll never forget the week I played King, and no one was stacking at the time, but he had Mahomes and Kelsey stacked, and they scored 4 touchdowns in the first half. And it was like the 1:00 games, and I knew my week was over within like 15 minutes. Because like Kelsey caught 2 of them. I don't know if you remember that game, but they scored 4 touchdowns in the first half, and there's just like deep bomb after deep bomb, and they just like
what to Tyreek? That's Tyreek years.
Yeah, Tyreek but Kelsey caught 2 of them, and it was just like Mahomes had like 30 or 40 points in the first half. He didn't do much after that, but it was just like he absolutely.
That's game. Like that's all you need. That's all you can ask for.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those days. But yeah, that's it for week 11 DFS episode of the Fantasy Sharps podcast. Don't forget to comment Bijan if you want this Bijan rookie portals.
Free Bijan.
I forget what set this came from. This was Prism.
Ooh, we'll insert Rook. Portals.
I like this one. It's got the Texas jersey on the back too. But yeah, see you guys in the next episode.
Good week. Good luck in week 11.